The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. And listen, you guys keep asking me and keep telling me, and you keep saying, we miss Pops. BT, where's Pops? It's not like when Pops is on, we miss Pops. So we brought him back by popular demand. It's the one, it's the only. You can't clone him. Pops in the building. What's up, Dad? How you doing?
Yeah, man. Welcome to True School Sports. Keep supporting the channel. BT doing a great job up there in Japan, and Happy New Year to all the subscribers. Thank you for all your support. Super chat, anything will help the channel. Really love coming back and starting off the year off in a good way. And there's a lot of things I'm sure BT's gonna ask me because I'm crazy.
Oh, there's plenty of things I know you want to speak about. But before we get into the boxing talk, Dad, because people always ask me, it's crazy to me. Like I'll be out here in Japan, I go to LA, I go all over the world. People don't even know who you are. They're like, man, how's your dad? So tell them how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, hanging in there with my health. Right now, the change of weather up here in North Carolina. I got a little cold, a chest cold, and whatever, but never too sick to talk boxing.
Never too sick to talk boxing, and that's music to my ears. Everybody who's tuning in on the live, make sure you smash the like button. If you're watching the playback, smash the like button, and definitely feel free to give your comments as we progress through the live. But Dad, I'm not really sure where to start, so I'm gonna ask you, what's really got you fired up in boxing right now? What's really got you talking right now? I wanna know from you.
I'm kind of pissed off a lot of things, so that's a long list. But
you're pissed off. What are you pissed off about?
I'm gonna go first with I want to talk a little bit about Boots because
Boots.
Boots Ennis. I'll tell you why. Welterweight wannabe champion who doesn't want to go out to 154 and test himself. That's what I feel about him. That's my opinion. I'm pissed off at Boots because I had high expectations for this guy, and what I've seen through the last couple of months, it's been his decision's been very bad, degrading, and I'm just tired of it. Like, you got offered a fight with Virgil Ortiz, didn't take that fight, and I thought 154 would be better for you because honestly, in 154, you got this fight coming up with Stianis, and that's great news and everything. I know the Flavor Blair's there or whatever, but I'm he's 140. But I'm just going to tell you that to me, I'm just disappointed in him and his team. I think they could be a lot better than that, and to me, and no disrespect to Philadelphia fans or whatever, but I feel, and this is just me saying it in my own word, maybe I'm not saying it right. If you can't stand up and make and put your hands on the fire and test yourself, then when are you going to do it? Honestly, when are you going to do it? When are you going to make that legacy? You're talented, and that's why I'm passionate. I'm upset. It's because to me, he don't got the Philadelphia shit. To me, he don't got the Philadelphia shit. I think he's good. I think he's talented. I picked him a couple last year, the year before, to beat Crawford, but he don't got the Philadelphia shit. No, sorry to tell you. No, he decided at 147. He decided to fight the Stianis, and that was the only opportunity he had. And people are going to say, oh, yeah, he wants to be undisputed. Yeah, he wants to be undisputed. You know why? Because there ain't nobody there for him to test him. That's why. Ain't nobody out there to test him. That's why. But if he went to 154, it'd be a different story. And that's what I really feel about that.
So let me ask you. I'll may cut you off. So the Stianis fight won't be satisfactory to you. That wouldn't like if they get that fight done in its unification, that's not gonna satisfy you.
Well, I mean, that's the only rabbit in the hat. That's the only rabbit in the hat they can pick out of the hat. Who else got the 147 is gonna do something for him? Ain't nobody gonna do shit for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas if he went to 154, he's up there. I think Earl Spence, if he fights or don't fight him, you got Virgil, and you got so on and so on and so on. He could test. You got what the fuck? Yeah. You got people that can test yourself and skills. This is what I say about boxing. You motherfuckers, excuse my language. I have a little bit to drink, so you motherfuckers.
How I really feel. This
is all these motherfuckers talk about they want to be great, they to be great, they to be legacy, and do all this shit. And then half the fighters stall the belts, hold on to the belts like super glue. Other fighters are afraid to take the chance. So are you really there for a legacy fight, or what the fuck are you here for? That's my whole point. Come on, wake up in 2025. Let's go. This is the live right here, baby. Boots Ennis. If you're that man from Philadelphia, you need to show me what you got. And I was telling my son. I was telling my son that he says he's still. I think he got Boots over Stennis. To be honest, I want Stennis to go in there and show him out because Boots has
Damn.
been Boots has been a big disappointment to me. And then when he was flocking Crawford for a while, he was calling that fight. But then when I'll say it again, but then when Virgil called him to want to fight him, he didn't want to take him. If you're gonna be great, you gotta take risks. You gotta take risks. If you get,
Most of the things you're saying, I've said in my own videos, but I'm gonna ask you this: that what do you think about because I'm playing devil's advocate here. What do you think about the fact that people are saying that it's not fair that if Boots were to go to 154 and fight Virgil, that's his first fight at 154, as to where Virgil's already had 3 fights at 54. He's had time to get adjusted to the weight. Do you think that's unfair to Boots? If Boots was 54, shouldn't Boots at least have to get like one fight?
No. You know why I don't give? You know why I don't give him anything? Because as he came to 147, he's been that effective. People say he's gonna be this. He's great. He's doing this. He's doing that. I remember when his father was saying, "Yeah, we train." And I like Boise, and so don't get it wrong.
I seen him.
Yeah, and he was saying, "Yeah, we train for everything," and they did everything. Then when he fought Karen, he was fucking chasing him around like a fucking dog chasing his bone. You know what I mean? He looked bad to me. Boots looked bad in that fight. It exposed me something about him. And as good as you say you are, and you get a chance to fight a legitimate what's his name 154 in Virgil, who's talented, was a 140 was a 147, but he's up there and he's going to test you. Then you got to go up there and take that leap. You don't have nothing right now. What do you have in the store at 147? You have nothing but leftovers and people on the shelf, dry shelf goods.
There was one guy that I interviewed recently that is there. I mean, if he can't fight the champions and if he's not going to 54 and this guy keeps winning, he may have to fight Jin. He may have to fight Jin Suzuki, which I isn't a big name in America, but that guy is starting to progress up the ranks,
Well, that's fine and dandy, but I'm just saying you can't tell me no more. Don't rattle your feathers. Don't flock your feathers around. Tell me that you're the guy from Philadelphia. I love the YMSM Sports over there. I love all them guys over there. They're giving shout out to them. But I gotta call it what I call it. I don't care what you guys tell me. Don't tell me he's invincible. That people are afraid of Boots. Ain't no motherfucker afraid of Boots. I'm gonna say like this: Boots is more afraid of himself, testing himself with his skills to go up to 154. That's what I'm gonna say.
Damn, you said so. He's like Groundhog Day. He's seeing his shadow. He's scared of himself.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't. It's not that I'm talking bad. I'm just passionate, and I really like him. But he has me had a different mentality in him that I thought that he didn't have, and I see now there's something different. Honestly, So I got Boots.
We go to these comments, Pops. We got a lot of comments here. We got Barack building. He says, "Happy New Year, Pops." Robert Sanchez says, "What's up, Pops? What's up, BT? Good to see you, Robert."
Happy night, guys. Happy New Year.
Kevin Effect says, "What a pleasure, Pops. BT, que Dios te bendiga."
Gracias.
MAW in the building. Good to see him. Yep, we're talking about Boots. I asked Pops. I said, "Pops, what really got you on fire about boxing?" And he came out. He came out the box and he said, "Boots. Boots is really upsetting him." And Barack is over here saying Boots is not chasing greatness, just easy cash. MAW says, "Standing honest is a quality fight. Boots has to unify now since he avoided Teo and Virgil. Unifying is better than anyway." Bang Boogie says, "Saludos BT Pops, good to see you again." And then the last comment I'll get to is Next Gen says, "Man, where the fuck Pops been at?" So there you go.
Yeah. I just like to talk. I do talk a lot of boxing with Brendan when I get the chance, and I'm still trying to settle down here in North Carolina. But I'll tell you right now, man, nothing upsets me more than when I have all the passion for you and all my energy for you with a little bit I got from my heart, and I respect you where you're from, and you're not being that if factor like I thought. I'm crying about Boots again. Yes, I'm crying about Boots. And when I see him or I see Boise, I will tell him with all due respect, you don't toot that horn because you're not blowing it in the ring. Don't toot that horn. But I will agree with somebody. Stay honest, it will be a good test for him. That'll probably be the best fight he's had in how long, Brendan? I mean, how long? What other times he's had? Or more?
On paper, because you don't know how things play out until they get in the ring. On paper, it's probably the best fight he's had, and it's unification, so it's a meaningful fight. It has some substance. It's not like a Karen or these guys fighting. It's a fight that actually has real substance behind it.
And for Boots' legacy, Brendan, let me ask you a question. If he does become undisputed with the the boxing shelf, boxers, no disrespect, that are still on the shelf, that they're not good at 147, but they're there, and he becomes undisputed. Do you think that's a great win for him to become disputed with this
I mean,
lackluster talent?
I think yeah, I agree with you. I think the welterweight division is extremely weak right now. But you know, anytime you can become undisputed in any weight class, it's a big deal. But I think the problem we're having with Boots is that we all know Boots is really talented, and we want to see how good he is. And if he goes undisputed at 147, there's not a fight at 147 where he would be like odds wise. He would not be an underdog or close to an underdog in any fight. He'd be a heavy favorite in every single fight. As to where at 154, you know, these are like closer to 50-50 fights, real legacy fight teams. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. But my man Styles Make Fight said, he says, F your pops, he's a hater. But I respect that you shine a light on the small weight fighters.
Hey, ain't no hating here, because this is why I talk about guys like that, because I'm passionate and I love the guy. But when the guy and the team makes bad decisions in the past and still making the same bad decisions and accept to be that guy, and then when somebody comes ringing the doorbell like Virgil and knocks on your door and say, let me come in, and you say, no, I'd rather stay downstairs, I'm afraid to come up, I send my mom to open up the door for me, then I got questions about you. I do.
All right, last thing about Boots, Pops, and when I ask you this question, it's gonna veer off into something else. I know you're about to really explode when I ask you this. All right, but what do you think about Eddie Hearn saying that Boots told him to not negotiate the Teofimo Lopez fight because Teofimo Lopez seemed like he wanted that fight?
I'll tell you what. I'll go back and follow you. A lot of comments you always say about Teo. Teo might be this, Teo like that, but Teo is willing to take risk and take the fights that are out there for him. He's willing to take those fights. I will say, well, I can't say that no more because Teo now just backed off my tears. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so it's all over the place. So I don't know. But when a fighter tells his promoter that you don't want that fight, it tells me a lot about yourself. Honestly, it does. Do you really believe in your talent? You can have the skills. Everybody can be smart and be smart like a genius. But if you don't apply the knowledge or whatever, what good does it do for you? My question is Boots that man? Back up from Philadelphia. You know who I like from Philadelphia? That I regard hard in that. You know who I like? Pretty boy Calvo.
Oh, Atif Overton.
Yeah. You know why?
Yeah, he's fighting later today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's going to be the big thing for next to Philadelphia. I think he's talented. I think he comes in there until he shows me otherwise. But I'm really disappointed in the Ennis family because they've made bad decisions with promotional. They've done all this other stuff, and now when somebody comes knocking, so you can make some money, you want to stay downstairs and have your father answer the door for you because you can't do it. In other words, you don't want to take that big risk to go up there. I don't care. And
well, hopefully he gets to stand on this fight and he can start to build something. I would agree. I think his career is starting to feel very reminiscent of Demetrius Andrade. You know, all the talent in the world, but can't seem to get out of his own way. So now look, man, look, Pops. You know, like people get agitated when I start talking about Angelo Leo, right? And
yeah.
I did not bring him up. I want to make it very clear. I did not bring Angelo up, and I know we're about to start a firestorm here when we start talking about this. But JK13 says, ask Pops, who does he think would win between the monster Inoue and Angelo Leo? So he brought it up.
Yeah.
So Pops, answer the question.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Inoue is talented. Inoue got a lot of skills. He's got power. He can go inside, outside. He can do a lot of things that he can set up the hokey doke and get somebody. But what I like about Angelo Leo, I like he'll fight you in the inside. He will come inside and he will go in angles, but he will get to you and he's quick. In my opinion, right now as I'm thinking, I don't know when the fight starts, but right now, I would favor Inoue because of what he's done, what he's done a lot more and what he's accomplished and his power. But after seeing that fucking knockout that Angelo put on that guy to send him to the moon,
Lopez.
Yeah, because I didn't think Angelo had a lot of power like that. Never thought in my mind that he had that power to come in there and put him out. So I will say this: Inoue better not sleep on Angelo, and Angelo is definitely not sleeping on Inoue. So, but right now, my thought, I will probably take Inoue.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's one of the best fights in boxing. I made no mistake about it, and I made no mistake for about 5 years now about who I think will win that fight, and I don't think it'll be Inoue. So
Right.
I hope that answered your question, JK.
Yeah, thank you,
While
JK.
we're talking about Inoue and Angelo, I want to stay right there on Inoue and Angelo. We'll start with Angelo, right? Because he was brought up.
Right.
A very spirited video about the Ring Magazine Awards, and I was frustrated that they didn't give Angelo Leo knockout of the year because I feel he earned that one. I feel like in a world title fight, as the underdog, one punch knockout against a guy who had never been knocked out, I feel like that was worthy of knockout of the year. They didn't. They went with Dubois versus Joshua. What did you think of that about that, Dad? Do you think Ring Magazine made the correct choice in knockout of the year? If it wasn't Angelo versus Renato, who do you think it should have been if it wasn't Angelo versus Renato?
There was a lot of knockouts that were great in the year. But I think let me just rephrase it this way. You got a new cook. You got a new cook in the kitchen. You got Turkey, right?
Yeah.
So Turkey has his own philosophy on he wants things and what he wants. Or he got all these yes men and yes excellency, this and that. But to me, when you got a guy that went to another promotional company that people it's just coming up now in Tampa, right? In pro TV, and he was out for 2 years or whatever it was, and he didn't get, like you say, activity. He wasn't that active, so you don't know how he's going to be. Too slow, this and that. And he goes in there, takes 3 great fights at that promotional company, and brings himself up, and then he goes and gets a fight that still the world thinks that he's a shit, that he's nobody, and he knocks his guy all the way to the moon. It says a lot about Angelo Leo. I think Angelo Leo is quicker, faster. I think his foot speed is a lot faster than, in my opinion, than Inoue. Inoue comes in, does his angles, he'll set you up. But I think foot speed. I would take Angelo. I could be wrong.
Feels faster than Inoue. I don't know if I agree with that one.
Well, I'm not gonna say.
I think he has very good timing. I think his timing. I wouldn't say he's faster.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Probably the timing. That's but I'm saying. But I think everybody has their own. Everybody knows who should have got the knockout of the year. They have their own opinions who they want. This and that. So my thing is, you know who you are, and you know who should be up there, and why the other ones shouldn't. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. But that's the thing about boxing. You're always gonna argue about knockout downs because everybody looks for that anyways.
Okay. Fair enough. As far as Inoue, right? Because I'm in Japan. I'll be at the fight. So by the way, anybody who's here who's in Japan, I'll be at the Inoue versus Yi Jun Kim fight. First of all, Pops, I want to get your thoughts on Sam Goodman pulling out of the fight twice with the cut. What do you think about that? And do you have any thoughts on Inoue's new opponent, Yi Jun Kim from South Korea?
First of all, I'm gonna say about Sam Goodman. I'll just tell it like this: he didn't want. When you're in the backyard, you're in the schoolyard, and you're running around, you're avoiding that bully. Every time, all of a sudden you see him, you get nervous and you run away. I think Sam Goodman didn't want to get his ass kicked. But don't tell me that he pulled out because he had this. I can understand one time, give you the benefit of the doubt, 2 times, but 3 times at a jump. No, I think in my heart, I don't think Sam Goodman really wanted to fight Inoue like we thought he was going to do. Now, but the other guy, the Korean guy, I don't really know much about him. I can't say how good, but I don't think he's at the same level as Goodman would have been if he had fought Inoue.
Well, I was reading an article this morning when I was researching a video, and I dropped it earlier. Apparently, Yi Jun Kim was an Inoue sparring partner, so there's some familiarity there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He had been in some camps with Inoue. He's a fighter that, he has a big knockout punch, but he's very flawed defensively. And he's got nothing to lose. From what I've read, this guy was supposed to be like the face of South Korean boxing, which, I'm not trying to put him down, and I'm not trying to disparage him, but in my opinion, I've seen other South Korean fighters, male South Korean fighters. I don't think he's the best South Korean fighter I've seen currently in boxing. I just think it's the fight is exactly what it looks like on paper. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah, and I will also say that we've seen it with McGill lately when he got knocked out by that no name. You can't sleep on all these no names either. Don't just think because you didn't fight the guy that, don't go. I'm saying I know what Inoue thinks, but I'm saying like in general, don't just think because the guy that was supposed to be somewhat near your level is not fighting you that this guy right here is just a flea market boxer. That you just got him from the shelf and you put him out there just to have a fight.
Yeah. Well, that's one good thing I can say about Inoue is he never underestimates his opponents, and he's so much like he exaggerates how good they are, so he tricks himself into training harder. That's one thing that he's. I don't think down. He should handle his business, but I'll tell you right now, if for whatever reason, because I watched this guy a little bit, he can punch a little bit. He can punch.
Okay.
Inoue ain't exactly Pernell Whitaker in there. That head stays right on the center line. So if he can take the Inoue power and hold his ground and fire back, and we've seen crazy things happen in boxing.
Yep.
You never know.
You gave a big you had a big props for another Japanese fighter that had sort of the style of Inoue, and what did that show you? Why would you, for you to say something like that early in the boxer's career? It must be something that caught your eye.
So for those who don't know who my dad is talking about, I did a prospect video on a super flyweight prospect named Inoue Yokoyama. He's 2-0 with 1 knockout. I found out about him when I was here in Japan, and everyone kept telling me, Yokoyama. This guy fights like Inoue. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yo, right, we'll see, right? And then I turned on I was here one night late at night. I turned on his fights, and I was like, wow, he actually does, like, his style wise, he fights like him. Yokoyama does fight like Inoue. Obviously, he shouldn't be as good as Inoue, and he's not as good as Inoue right now because he's only 2 fights into his career, but he's very, very good, very, very polished. I think the 2 things that made him look like Inoue when he fought was that his explosive first step, the amount of ability, the ground he was able to cover when he commits to his offense. That was the first part of it. And then the second part of it, I would say, is like just how explosive he was and the way he varies his jab like Inoue. That's made him look like me. But doesn't mean he'll be as good as Inoue. He still has a lot to learn in the pros.
No, you just basically just seeing like it's like when you see somebody that has resemblance to somebody else, but it's not him, but he has certain things, attributes that he has that remind you of that person. That's what you probably see in this fight, in this Korean fight. I mean, the other Japanese fight. You say that I see a lot of good things from him. It's too early to say what he's going to be, or we can't say he's another Inoue. I'm not saying that. I just like that he reminds me of somebody like Inoue.
Correct. Last thing I'll say about Sam Goodman, Dad, or I'll ask you about Sam Goodman, is what you're saying is it one of those cases where he may have thought he was ready for that fight, and then he signed the contract, and then the moment came, and the moment was just too big for him, and he couldn't handle it no more?
I'll give fighters benefit of the doubt when some of them do get injured. You know what I mean? Like, one time, but 2 or 3 times or whatever, it's bullshit. You didn't want to fight him in the get-go, but you're wasting everybody else's time because somebody else that was waiting in line could have had a chance to fight him. That might have been, a little bit more above or below Goodman, but he would have given a better fight because you know why? Because he showed up for the dance in the ring. He showed up to dance with Inoue. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's get some comments. Let's get a couple of these comments because there's a lot of comments about Inoue. We got Pops here. It's your boy BT, the Untouchable, True School Sports.
Hit that like.
Smash the super chat, all that stuff.
Super chat, let's go. We gotta get it.
All right. So let's get to the comments. My man, Next Gen Sports Combat TV. Shout out to him. He says Inoue is not losing to 130 and higher, in my opinion. I definitely don't agree with that, but we're all entitled to our opinions. What do you think, Pops? Do you think? I'll ask you in plain English. Do you think Inoue will clear out the featherweight division if he comes up?
You got to do it first. You got to come up. Right now. I don't like what he's doing, staying over here at that weight class you told me about.
122.
Tickling his thumbs and fighting with them because there's nobody there. Why don't you right now your prime? That's what I understand about these fighters. While you're in your prime, go up and test yourself and kick some motherfucking ass.
Well, to be fair to him, he's been doing that, but yeah, we want to see him go up in featherweight.
Yeah, but I want to see him test him against stronger fighters. I think as the weight class goes up with Inoue, as the weight he goes up in weight, it's going to be harder for him, I think.
Correct. And I think he's gonna have to win in different ways than he's been winning in the lower weight classes. So that's the entry. He's staying at 122 because he's supposedly waiting for Junto, who hasn't even moved up yet. Styles Make Fights wants to know from you, Pops, what do you think about Junto versus Inoue?
Let me tell you like this: time don't wait for nobody. Time don't wait for nobody. I don't care where the fuck you're from, whatever. Time to win. You don't need to wait for him. Go test yourself with somebody else to come back. This fight right here. It seems that everybody's got their mouths and slobbering on it. I want to see this fight. Junto is taller, strong. He's tall. He's lanky. He throws longer from the outside, inside. I like that from Junto. I think it'd be a great fight. And May the best man win. Inoue, of course, is probably gonna be the favorite, but I like Junto. I think he could be the man to upset Inoue. Why not? No.
I'll ask you the question, Pops, because they could fight at either super bantamweight or they could fight at featherweight. Because Junto's big enough to eventually fight at featherweight.
Yeah.
So if they do you think Inoue would win regardless of the weight class, or do you think it's a different fight if they fight at featherweight?
No. If he moved up, if Junto moved up, and Inoue moved up, I think it's not going to be as easy as people think it is. I think, in my opinion, as Inoue moves up or tests himself, whether it's featherweight or up, whatever, I think his strength won't be the same. I don't think so. I just don't see it. He's got power. I'm not saying I can't do it. I just don't see it against a guy like Junto.
Barack Amuti says Angelo is good, but Inoue is a legend. Angelo's a little better than good, but Inoue is a legend, and I look forward to changing people. I look forward to helping Angelo change everyone's perception and cementing his own legendary part in the sport when the time comes. That being said, let me see who else we got here. We got my man Tony Kart Racer. He says Inoue was fighting with one good eye and still beat Donaire. Not to mention he knocked him silly in the rematch. He did. He definitely did. He definitely did. One last comment, and then we'll move on to the next one. David Escher says, so is this Omar Trinidad guy any good? That Mike Planilla guy is pretty weak to the body. Should I bet on Planilla to get stopped? Planilla got folded up by Angelo Leo and Elijah Pearson. But yeah. So first and foremost, Omar Trinidad is a contender. I don't know if you know Omar Trinidad, Pops, but he's one of the top featherweight contenders in the IBF, and supposed to fight for your time tomorrow. So it's the 17th for you. Okay. And he's fighting one of Angelo's ex-opponents, Mike Planilla. I like Omar. I think he's a fun TV fighter. I think he's still probably a year and a half away.
You said like he's decent or a little bit more better than average?
He's okay. Like he can box. He can fight really well in the front. I think his defense needs to really tighten up to have a chance to win, to beat the champions and guys like that. His defense ain't at the par right now. I don't think he's big of enough of a puncher to beat a guy like Angelo right now. So he needs to add some more things to his skills, but he's a good. I like him. I like this fight. I think Planilla and Omar Trinidad is going to be a good fight. Wow. It's actually probably like Mike Planilla has been getting thrown to the wolves. He's been fighting all these Angelo, Elijah Pierce, all these guys beating Joshua. Yeah. I think this is the most winnable fight he's had in a long time, actually.
Oh shit, that's saying a lot,
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Last comment, and then I'll have to go ahead and move on up to next comment because I don't want to spend the whole time just going on.
I got you.
Next gen comment says 126 is a Mexican buffet for Inoue. You're going to be in for a big surprise. That's not happening. And then Jazz says right now Inoue gets cooked by Angelo Leo. And I know not everyone agrees with that, but I believe that. That's what I believe. And I'll say this. Before I move on. If you guys want to know what the Inoue Angelo fight will look like in advance, go watch Ricardo Lopez versus Hideki Ohashi and go watch Seiya Tsutsumi versus his brother Takuma. It's gonna look something like one of those fights when he beats him. But I want to switch gears. Pops, because there's more to life than Inoue. There's more to boxing than just Angelo. There's so much to talk about. And you guys feel free to chime in with a super chat or anything you want.
Yeah, whatever you want to say.
I want to ask you this, Pop. So it was reported, and I know right now the glove's about to come off. You got to go off for real.
Right.
It was reported that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are going to fight in Saudi. They're going to go. They signed a contract. They're supposed to fight in October on a Riyadh season card. They're both going to take a fight in America in the intermediate time. What do you think about the rematch, just as the actual fight?
Are they fighting? Are they fighting on the catch weight or no?
No. From what Devin stated, it looks like it's going to be at welterweight because Devin said he's moving up to. He's not at 140 no more. So.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'm gonna say it again. No disrespect to nobody. I know you disagree with me. Haney to me, I don't care what anybody says. Oh, he got up a couple of times. He showed his heart. No, he didn't. He talked a lot of shit until he got tested. He ran into the wrong one, and that's what he got. He got his ass whooped. PDs, DEPs, ABB, ABC, DEFG. I don't care. He got his ass kicked. So my thing is, it's gonna be the same motherfucking result, probably even worse. Unless they become buddies and they just, but I got Garcia beating him worse.
You know, worse.
I'm not giving him. I respect him. He's a fighter. I don't want the best because I do like the Haneys, right, Brandon? I like the Haneys.
You like Bill. like Bill. You don't like Devin. Neither. Come
Yeah.
on, let's be.
So
You like
I don't think he hasn't even still recovered from the last fight with him. You think it's gonna make a difference? He's getting his ass whooped, and that's probably the last time you see of Haney because I don't think Haney will recover from this. No.
So you think that fight took it took something from him?
It took a lot out of him. First, he's making excuses. Then his father wants to talk to him, they're going to swoop. Then they're going to do this. Now he's doing that. No, brother. Instead of you being a man and saying, okay, I got my motherfucking ass kicked and hold up your chin high and walk out, no, you make excuses. You were happy when they gave you the 0. You won't have to worry about that 0 because that bottle's coming right off again because I'm telling you, Garcia's going to make a big statement. I got Garcia doing the same shit to him over and over again. Yep.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Well, I'll ask about this. What do you think? So, we know Devin. This is a massive fight. Like the rematch is way bigger than what the first fight was. But what do you think about the reports, Pops, that the fight between 2 American fighters won't be happening in America? This will be going to Saudi. How do you feel about that? Do you feel anything about that?
I don't think the problem. This is the problem I have with Turki Al-Sheikh, the Excellency, right? He's up there baiting everybody that he's gonna pay him whatever. I understand that part, but sometimes there's certain fights that you gotta have in a certain country, a certain place that's more meaningful than what the money is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where the promoter's gonna come in and say like, "Hey, put the brakes on. We're gonna do it like this." So if you have 2 Americans up there, let me ask you something. What does how blah blah and blah blah know about American fighters? They don't know shit. They don't know who the fuck they are. I'm just saying, like, they don't know who they are unless they read it on the pamphlet or whatever, but they don't know shit about the fighter. Good fights, great fights that are from America, put them where they belong in fucking America. That's my opinion. But
so essentially, what you're saying is, if you have 2 stars from a particular country, they should be fighting in their actual country because it's gonna be the big.
Because they're
Nakatani should be in Japan. Fury versus Usyk should be, or Fury versus Joshua, I should say, it should be in the UK, and then and then Orion versus Devin should be in America.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Because sometimes, a lot of times, what happens is we get it wrong. I was in Saudi and I couldn't even see a fucking. They said they have millions of camels. Fucking didn't see about 1 or 2 or 3 camels in the desert. What's my point? And the same thing when you bring fighters up from America. Nobody's gonna know nothing. Nobody knows nothing. They're gonna know how to do the religious thing. No disrespect to them. They're gonna do what they do, but they don't know the fighters. They're not familiar with the fighters. If you want to do just put them over, and Turkey has that. What is it called? All season Riyadh, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, he got that. He could do that in the U.S. and put the big fights out there also. I don't think that he should pull the Mexicans. I don't think he should pull the Americans and everything going to fucking Saudi Arabia just because he's got money. He could do the same thing. Take it to Los Angeles. Take it to wherever he wants, big cities. The fight.
That's I think the fight should be in L.A. or Las Vegas. But what's funny, Pops, is I saw this morning because I've been getting a lot of criticism about my criticisms of Turki Al-Sheikh, right? And people say like, oh, well, we don't care where the fights are at as long as they happen. But most of the people that tell me that, they don't go to fights. They don't go to fights. They don't spend the money on the sport. They don't really have any investment in the sport. I don't know if you saw this, Pops, but Turki Al-Sheikh he said that he wants to make Anthony Joshua versus Martin Bakole, but he said that he doesn't want to see it in Saudi. He wants to see it in Africa, where both of those fighters are either from or have heritage. So the African fighters, Bakole and Joshua can be in Africa, but Ryan and Devin can't be in the U.S. How does that work?
That's what I'm saying. But like I say, money isn't everything. Money is not everything at all. And I'll tell you again, I'm not saying that Turkey hasn't done a lot for boxing and help out, got the fights and everything, got all the promoters sucking his thumb or whatever. But the reality is, if you want to be good at what you do, you put the fights where the people want to see them. In my opinion, putting a Gervonta Tank Davis fight in fucking Saudi Arabia, nobody's gonna enjoy it. The Arabians don't know shit about who Tank is, who Shakur is, who all these guys are. They don't know shit. They can come dressed up as Arabians and ride a camel into the ring, and nobody knows who they are. Honestly, I'm not disrespecting the religion, or anything, but I'm just telling you that's what I'm saying. So Turkey needs to wait. Like one thing I don't like about Turkey, and I tell my son that all the time is the time when he tried to take McCauley's a flag from him at his last fight. McCauley when he grabbed
the fight,
yeah. So I mean, he's done good, but not everything that seems good is good. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I understand that.
Yeah,
not everything gold.
Yeah, not everything you see is good. Is good. It's not. You know what I mean? And he doesn't. But he doesn't know any better. Remember, he's from Saudi Arabia. He'll pay somebody else to do the research and do everything, but he knows jack about jack. You know.
Yeah. You know
So
what's crazy? I was under the impression that Turkey knew more about boxing. When he was talking about Anthony Joshua versus Bakoli in Africa, I caught something that nobody else caught.
oh wow.
He was talking about Bakoli's next fight, and because Bakoli's supposed to fight Efe Jagba,
Yeah.
and Turkey didn't know who Efe Jagba was.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Like, he actually did not know who Efe Jagba. I was a little shocked by that.
And nobody called them out. Nobody called them out.
It was real subtle. You had to really be paying attention. But
yeah,
you know,
well,
crazy.
if you're gonna be, if you want everybody, because everybody's kissing us, that's why I'm not gonna know names who's doing good or not. But that's why everybody that gets the fights with them, I get it. You get your money and everything. Thank you so much. But you don't have to kiss his ass royally. You know what I'm saying? You just don't do that. And that's what I'm saying. Just because he puts a fight on, oh, thank you, Alexis, whatever the fuck, Excellency, or thank you for the brand new BMW you got me. No, don't give a fuck about that. If you don't know how to put the good fights or promote fights the way they should be promoted, then you better start in your own level. Start with your own. You want Arabians to get better? Bring them to the U.S. Let them get his ass kicked in Las Vegas a couple times. Let them learn the real fight, real styles, and I guarantee you they get tough. You know. So I'm not hating on him. I just don't think that he's the savior for boxing. I don't.
Ooh.
I think he's more like in my opinion. Now I'm not perfect at all. And you guys know I'm crazy as hell. Monopolizing the sport. I didn't even know he was a WWF. I didn't know he was at all these other places.
Yeah,
I found out the other day.
Soccer, all kinds of sports. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it. But don't sit here and come out here and act like you know what you're doing. I don't like when somebody tests him or talks to him about something that he doesn't like and then he gets pissed off. That showed me right there that you're a baby, you're a spoiled baby with all that money. When Canelo said no in the beginning, not just now when they're gonna fight or whatever Crawford, he said no, I don't want to do this. Now he cried like a little baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You build it up and I'll let you get it. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not. If I go there, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, Your Excellency, thank you for this." No, you ain't do shit for me. Another thing. One big point I'm gonna bring out. What is Turkey doing for us Americans to go there to the fight? Is he buying our tickets to go over there? Is he buying our fucking hotel rooms over there? Huh? Where's his
self-consciousness? No. He's not gonna do that because the whole point of this, and I keep trying to beat it in everybody's head. The whole point of this is to get people to go there and spend their money. That's the whole point of all this. It's not about
I get it, but many Americans, a lot of casuals, they don't shit $100 bills every day. You understand? So you just looking out for yourself. I think we were talking earlier. I think you had a show not too long ago, and there was hardly anybody. Nobody was there. Like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, like there's no. That's the one complaint is that there's no really atmosphere, and part of the reason why there's no atmosphere is because the people that are there aren't boxing fans. They're
they're
elitists. They're not boxing fans.
Yeah, you can have that. So he's done some good. Don't get me wrong. He's done some good, but I also think he's done some bad also, in my opinion, in certain ways and certain things.
Last thing about Turkey. Last thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
What did you make of Tank Davis's comments about Turkey?
You know what? You all can say, you know what? This is what I like about street motherfuckers from the streets, right? Motherfuckers from the streets, a lot of them people think that they don't have, because they don't have a PhD or they're not Einstein or this and that they don't know shit, right?
Yeah.
But when you come from the streets and you observe all kinds of shit and you see it, you're gonna call it the way you see it. I'm not saying Tank. I get upset at him because he doesn't fight the weight classes or whatever. But as far as him being blind, that motherfucker ain't blind. He's gonna call it out the way he sees it. And that's what a street motherfucker does. He's gonna call out and say what he says, you know. So what he did was perfect. Like, how the fuck, Brendan? You got Fighter of the Year, but guess what? I don't got you. I got Josh Moore that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing up there with a trophy. But you know what I mean? So what Tank is basically saying is, you can't give me respect due to me, but you can put these clowns on there. Then what the fuck is it? That's not how it goes. So no, I didn't like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighters, not just Tank, but there was a lot of fighters that were nominated for awards that did not get invited to the Ring Magazine Awards, which I thought was wrong because it was mostly just like Riyadh season fighters or fighters that could benefit Turkey and propping up Saudi, which, if you're going to have a boxing award ceremony, everyone who's nominated for an award should be at the damn award ceremony.
But what he should have done was, this is what he should have done if he had common sense, right? If he had asked me, go have a ring awards for all your Saudi Arabian fighters in Saudi Arabia that you feel are talented, and give them something. You know what I mean? Tap on whatever. But the Americans that earned what they earned and they fought and they earned right, give them the proper respect. That's all. That's all. What streets all about? You give me respect. You don't give me. That's what Tech is saying. How you want me to respect this clown when half of them motherfuckers didn't do what other? You know what I mean? He doesn't have the whole script there. The script meaning the people that should have been there.
Okay. Fair enough. So let me go ahead and read a couple of these comments and respond to them. Rusty K says Pop is sounding crazy because he is crazy.
Yeah,
sounding crazy. This is your first time. He's been crazy.
Yeah, this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. I mean, I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Whatever you say, it's fine. What you say, I just say the same things the way I see it. He's done some good things. If you're referring to Turkey. But he's also done some bullshit, something. You know what I mean? If somebody tells him something he don't like, he's gonna go cry. What the fuck you crying for? Fuck him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Says, BT, check your DM. I sent you an invite. Instagram or what was it? Twitter. Let me know where, because I just checked. I didn't see no message. My man right here. He says Ryan is the most talented fighter I've ever seen in person. I saw him toy with Malachi Ross at Lee Moreno's gym.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll say one thing that my son always says. Oh, real quick, Brandon. One thing they say about Ryan, you always say, out of all the guys, he's got that natural gift. You know, the way he moves, the way.
I've said it myself. I've seen Ryan Garcia. If he ever puts it fully together, like if he actually becomes a disciplined professional at any point in his career, it would be crazy to see what he could be. Because I'm telling you, I've been around. I've seen the majority of the top fighters in boxing in the gym at some point, and he's one of the most talented fighters I've ever. Natural talent. I know natural talent's only part of the equation, but he's got.
What a subscriber said that on one of your comments, Brendan. They said that on one of your videos. He said, "How can you say that? How can you explain to me? How can you say that Devin Haney and Garcia's a legacy fight when motherfucking what's the name? Garcia never held a belt. He's never been a champion. How can you say it's a legacy fight?"
Well,
not to me. Don't explain it to me. Explain it to them. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Brian and Devin, the first fight to me in my eyes was not a legacy fight. It was a fight where Devin was picking Ryan Garcia because he felt Ryan Garcia was in a vulnerable state, and and Devin didn't want to fight any of the other champions because they weren't going to give him the kind of money that this was. This was a much bigger event, even though those fights were bigger, substance fights. Like they're more important as far. But when you consider like everything that's happened, the lawsuit, the positive tests, everything, all that stuff. I think now this has turned into a real rivalry fight. And when you get real rivalry fights, when you get people calling into question your reputation, when you get any fight in boxing, I don't give a damn if it's for a title or no title. When you get any fight in boxing where so much of your reputation is at stake, it is a legacy fight. I'm telling you right now, I don't care who wins the fight, but Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, the perception of them, what they're known for, is gonna hinge a lot on what happens in that fight.
Yeah, but I think I think what subscriber was trying to say, Brandon, was real quick. He was trying to say like if they're not champions, and it's not considered a legacy fight. That's how he looked at it. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what I thought.
I know that's not true because there's been plenty of fights in boxing that were non-title fights that were big fight that wound up being really important fights. I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you an example, right? I'm pretty sure this is a non-title fight. Maybe I'm wrong, but Ivan Baranchyk versus Jose Zepeda, that crazy fight for like 5 years ago, like 7 or 6, or how many knockdowns it was. That turned into a legacy fight because when you talk about Baranchyk or Jose Zepeda, that's the first fight that comes to your mind. So therefore, it's a legacy fight. Legacy, it's in the name. Legacy fight. Legacy is what people remember you for. So look, when Ryan and Devin retire from boxing, one of the first fights people are going to remember are the rematch and their first fight. Therefore, rematch is a legacy fight.
Will you consider and this is off the wall from British boxing, will you consider Eubank and Ben a legacy fight, even though they're not champion on? And even though you've been
You asked
never
me
won,
that question.
I have to ask it. And you've been
Okay.
with a
So
champion.
if we're going by my definition of a legacy fight, it
Okay.
is legacy fight.
Okay.
By my definition, it
For
is
the,
legacy.
but that's for the name, right?
Let me expand upon it.
Okay.
It's a legacy fight because of my definition of it, and it's a legacy fight because they're literally fighting for the family name. But when you actually look at it from the boxing standpoint and you strip it down, it's not really a legacy fight. It's a guy who's fought at 168, who's fighting a guy who's completely unproven at 147, and and they got a rematch clause. Both of them are knocking right on the door of a world title, and none of them are like, nah, we're not opening that door. Let's fight each other. Let's get this paper. Fuck that world title shit. Let's get this paper. That's the truth. That's the God's honest.
So would you say that the promoter, Alex, the promoter's gonna go for the money and make a fight like that for that, or you think you'd rather make a fight like a championship fight, like with the big names?
No. Eddie Hearn definitely wanted to make this fight. Listen. I'm not gonna put nobody on blast too much, but I know Chris Eubank Jr.'s manager personally. Like, I have his number on my phone. I talk to him on WhatsApp from time to time. Mm-hmm. We've had discussions about what Chris Eubank Jr. is gonna do with his career, so I know what the people who make decisions for Eubank's career, I know what they think. And I'm telling you right now, this is the fight they wanted. The money, the money fight. It's a cash grab. So, trust me, Eubank's manager is a very smart guy. He understands that in terms of accomplishments. Yeah, sure, fighting Johnny Beck or something like that is good for the hardcore boxing fans and legacy, but it doesn't really bring in the kind of revenue that this fight's going to bring in, because this fight's going to appeal to the average Joe Blow on the street that doesn't even like boxing like that. That's an average boxing fan that may have only just tuned in back in the day when Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. fought each other. They're going to fight. This fight's going to have the attention of the British public. So,
I don't know what else you're going to get about. I got to ask you about.
Ask what you want, but there's plenty to talk about. Go ahead.
I got to ask you this question. How do you feel about Teofimo now? Like he's talking about this, he backed up with the tears. He said he's entitled to what, 10 million. After when he went with Thriller, they went back to kissing ass, Bob Arum's ass, or whatever the case. Come back to them. What do you think about, is Teofimo entitled or for that big money that he's talking about, or all this other bullshit?
Well, I explained this to you yesterday when we were on the phone.
Yeah.
And there's a famous quote, and a lot of the younger generation who's on social media will know this quote. It's from Fat Joe, and the quote goes a little something like this: "Yesterday's price is not today's price." And when you talk about that quote, you can tie that quote into what market value is in boxing. Every fighter has a market value. Teofimo has a market value. Inoue has a market value. Angelo Leo has a market value. Anthony Joshua has market value. Every fighter in boxing has market value, and it changes fight by fight. So I bring up market value to say, Pops, that Teofimo Lopez is operating as if his market value is still what it was in 2020, as if it still is what it was when he was beating up Richard Comey, Lomachenko. It's not that anymore. He's been a very up and down fighter, and he's been refusing to fight Brian. Like, he turned down a Brian Norman Jr. fight. Wow. He's not about his fight, and Top Rank has made him some fair offers. So what I ultimately think, Pops, is that I think Teofimo Lopez is overvaluing what his market value actually is in reality, and the result of that is he's being stalled out of.
I think one of the justifications that he feels, not what the fans or whatever or the public feels. He feels that because he literally got sponsored from Bud Light, and I forgot what else, Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse, whatever sponsors he got, that he's saying, well, I'm a fighter that got all these. Why am I not, like, I should be top dog. I should get paid more, because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't see the Bud Light album, or you wouldn't do this, or you wouldn't do that. And I think that's bullshit, because great fighters back in the day, or even now, back then, they could have had the same thing if they chose to, but they didn't. You know what I mean? You have Riddick Bowe. He had what did he have? Reebok?
Riddick Bowe had hella sponsors back there. Riddick Bowe was sponsored by Fila. He had Riddick Bowe had his own. Yeah. He had his own.
Right. So what I'm getting at, you can't justify getting all the sponsorship and act that's the reason for you to get all this money.
Yeah. I mean, the sponsorships, all it does is tell the promoters that there is value in you as a fighter. But again, value that sponsorship see in you and your value as far as what you're producing in the ring are two different things. And I think Teofimo Lopez needs to, be in a meaningful fight, and he has to perform. He hasn't, he had the Josh Taylor fight, which I was wrong about, and I give him all the credit in the world for that fight. But apart from Josh Taylor, these last 5 years, he's been a very pedestrian fighter. Let's just be real, up and down. For every Josh Taylor, there's a Martin, there's a Steve Claggett. He hasn't really been fire. Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is we know he's better than that, and that's why he's getting criticized.
Yeah, and I think I don't think anybody should be feel entitled to anything. You have to earn it.
Correct. Shout out to my guy Lance Meyer. He says the most dynamic boxing duo in the YouTube boxing community. Pops. He
What's up, Lance? God bless. How you doing? God bless you. Yeah.
They want to know, Pops. They said that you're not looking to deal with 30. What do you do to what does he do? Shave his face or something? Pops looks different.
No, I shave my hair like always. I had to shave my hair today, but I haven't looked young yet because I haven't shaved all this crap off. This is all peach fuzz. You know what I mean? But don't get it twisted.
Did you find the fountain of youth, Pops?
Well, the fountain of youth is how you feel every day when you get up. You know what I mean? And and what you got in your heart. So that's what you look at. If you have a happy attitude and you drop, and I'm always having happy. I drive everybody crazy. I feel yeah, and don't get it twisted.
I know you too well, but
that's for sure. That's for sure. But I'm saying yeah, man, you gotta always think you're young again. If you don't, man, them young bucks will run all over you.
Correct. So yeah, all right. Well, there's still plenty to talk about. Make sure you smash the like button, get your questions in the pop.
Super chat. Thank you.
Definitely super chat. Let me ask you this, Pops. When it's been a while since you've been here, Better Be at Bivol happened in the time since you last year. Yeah. What do you think about who do you think won the first fight, and who are you, and how are you seeing the rematch?
Well, I've always said that you got the boxer versus the puncher, and I always said that I always take until I see somebody really tear a new asshole and Better Be. I don't see Bivol doing it again. I don't. I think it might be a closer fight than the last one because people go. A lot of people. It's like they'll say it's a 50-50 fight, but I think I think Better Be able to beat Bivol again. That's my opinion.
So I'll ask you two follow-ups. The first one will be: do you think Better Be will perform better in the rematch? And do you think that Bivol can fight a more aggressive fight, fight a little differently than he normally does, and actually beat Better Be?
Well, we know that when he fought other contenders like Smith and anybody else, he's got that pop in him too. But I think the problem is you're fighting a guy that's got cement in his hands, and it's very hard. If you allow him to come forward and get you in a corner and cut your ring off, he's gonna go and fire away. Where Bivol's the other way around. Bivol's run around circles around you and jab you all night and throw you all different combinations. And that's not going to happen with Better Be. So I got Better Be beating him again. But he's my number 2 light heavyweight though that I favor, that I like.
Bivol?
Yeah, Bivol. I think one thing I give Bivol this time, he's got a free mind. No disrespect, he has no woman in his life or whatever. He's got all that stuff out of his way. Something that's going to help him a lot going into this fight. Which sometimes when we have that issue, like I'll tell you, with my wife drives me up a fucking wall. If I say if we get to an argument, I can't focus on nothing. I can't fucking focus. I'm so angry because she doesn't understand me. So having a woman, I'm not saying that he hates her, whatever the difference is, but not having that turmoil that he had in the other fight with the woman was coming out throwing all this shit on him, I think might help him in the fight because now he has a clearer mind. He knows I'm not with her anymore, so I can just go in here and try to fuck this guy up.
To be fair though, we don't really know what that whole situation is like.
No. I'm not saying no. I'm not trying to just throw stones on nobody. I'm just trying to tell you when you have a turmoil with a relationship, sometimes going into a fight that can affect you. You don't even know it until you're in that ring and you're like, damn, I can't focus the way I used to. But what I'm saying is now it's cleared up the divorce or whatever they're doing. But he's already a reality. He can go in a fight more comfortable. That's what I'm trying to get at. And that's an advantage for a fighter because the mind's more at peace. But I'm riding with Better Be. If ain't nobody be like the king. Ain't nobody be him.
Okay. I want to ask you this, Pops. Better Be a Bivol isn't the only big light heavyweight fight coming up. We got, and a lot of people have been asking for your opinion on this. Dave Benavidez versus David Morrell Jr. at light heavyweight as well. Two guys in the prime that are no nonsense. They're getting right to it. What do you make of that matchup, and who are you picking?
I'll be honest, I like both fighters. I'm a big fan of both fighters. Morel until his last fight or the last fight before that. I didn't see that I didn't see that the power, the Cuban missile coming at as far as dominating like he was. He boxed himself out and he did what he had to do. But I'll say one thing about Benavidez. Benavidez will keep coming at you, pressuring that Mexican crazy shit. We come forward. I think in the long run for me, I think Benavidez beat him. One, because he's been fighting longer, he's been in bigger fights, and he has more experience. And his pressure will be the difference. I don't think, and I'll say it like this, I don't think Morel's ready for the big lights like people think he is. I thought at first, but when I seen him, no, he's not ready yet.
Yeah, he had a difficult fight in his last outing. He fought Hot Rod, who Better BF fought back in the day and stopped in 7 rounds. And he didn't look like he normally did. Listen, I like Morel. I think Morel is talented enough to rise.
But to be fair, that was his first fight at that weight class, right?
Yeah, that was his. So the funny thing about both these guys is like they were both dominant super middleweights. They both had performances in their light heavyweight debut that you could criticize because Morel stopped his guy and looked great. And I thought Benavidez looked great after I went back and watched it a second time, but he wasn't the same Benavidez at 68 that was just mowing everybody down. Yeah. So they both had performances that had mixed reviews.
I just think Benavidez with his pressure, he starts out. Benavidez like to start out slow, but once he gets the engine going, he comes putting that pressure on. I think Morel likes to keep you at a distance, keep you on the outside, keep you at bay, and throw his jab, throw his punches, and try to set you up for the hokey though. But I don't think he will be able to. The pressure that Benavidez bringing, I got Benavidez winning the fight. I really do, and I like Morel. Don't get me wrong, I like Morel. I just think he's too young. He's inexperienced, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I think also Benavidez going into this fight, he's got a lot to prove because he finally gave up on Canelo and wiped his feet with him and moved on and washed his hands, and now he's got to prove another point, make a statement, and why not against a young hungry Cuban like Morel? Morel's not ready. Morel's not been in bigger fights than but I think Benavidez is going to come in and do something. I got Benavidez.
Okay, so you're picking Benavidez and you're picking Artur Beterbiev, right? Mm-hmm. So if they both win, I don't know if you're aware, but if the winner of Benavidez is supposed to fight the winner of Beterbiev, the WBA order, the two of the sanctioning bodies have already ordered that the winner fight the winner of that fight next. So you're picking Benavidez to fight, or you're picking Benavidez to fight Beterbiev. If Benavidez and Beterbiev match up, who would you pick in that fight?
Holy shit, man! You got them. Oh man, it's a tough fight. Right. But I'm going what I'm feeling now. I don't know when the time for the fight, but what I'm feeling now, I'm riding with Benavidez.
Ooh,
I'm riding with Benavidez. I think because he's bigger. He's a lot bigger than Beterbiev. And don't get me twisted. Beterbiev throws bricks. His punches are bricks. They ain't fucking like breadcrumbs or a slice of bread with slice and soft. He's gonna hurt you when he gets you in the corner. But I just think when I see Benavidez, when he set out slow, when he gets going, he doesn't care. He's coming at you straight. So it's gonna be a battle between both of them. So you could practically say it might be 50-50, but I got Benavidez. I think Benavidez is gonna come out more hungry. He's got a lot more to prove to the world and to boxing because Canelo didn't fight him.
Okay, so you're agreeing with Sean Tatel. I know Sean Tatel has been trying to drill it into my head for the longest time. Benavidez is going to be better than guy.
Nah, I just think that guy when he gets going and he comes forward and put that pressure on you, he doesn't. And don't get me wrong, Benavidez is not going to stand there either. He's going to knock you the fuck out. He's going to try to hurt you right when he gets you in the corner. So it's a close fight either way. But I got it right. But my heart told me right now. Maybe tomorrow might be something different. But right now, Benavidez.
Is it fair to say, because me and Sean were talking about this, because we feel like Benavidez versus Beterbiev is not just the best fight that can be made at light heavyweight or one of the best fights that can be made in boxing, but it's the battle of who is truly the baddest motherfucker in boxing.
Yeah, because you come in, Beterbiev he never tells you everything in sentences. He just laughs at you and jokes around you and tell you everything contradictory to what he really means. You know what I mean?
Downplays
yeah, and he dominates you. And then you got Benavidez, who's in his mind, he's like, okay, everybody's got me related to Canelo. We never had to fight with Canelo, but they relate me to that. I gotta prove to them that I am that that motherfucker. And if he's able to knock out Beterbiev, I don't know how they can do it, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Because didn't Canelo had a chance to fight Beterbiev, or he didn't want it, or people talked about it?
Oh man, listen, Canelo's had a couple chances to fight Beterbiev. Hold on, man. I'm not on anyway.
Yeah.
Freaking Canelo had a couple chances to fight Beterbiev. He could have fought Beterbiev when he beat Kovalev to become a light heavyweight champion. Right. And he vacated that belt straight away. Like, we couldn't even get the word Beterbiev out of our mouth, right? I asked Canelo myself in person in the flesh after the Berlanga fight, because he was talking about fighting Bivol beat Beterbiev. So then I asked him, I said, okay, well, if you're gonna fight Bivol, he beat Beterbiev, would you fight Beterbiev if he beats Bivol? And Canelo didn't even want to say the name Beterbiev. He just said, I'll fight Bivol, and that's it. You know, so he didn't
even mention his name.
Want those problems, and I'm not gonna blame him, but he didn't want those problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart move. Don't say nothing, but like I said, I think Benavidez wants to prove to everybody, like, yeah, I didn't fight the Mexican great, but I fought one of the best fighters at light heavyweight in Beterbiev, and hopefully I beat him.
To Benavidez's credit, because I used to be very critical of him. I thought he was waiting around at super middleweight way too long for Canelo and wasting valuable time. And I used to criticize him a lot for it. But in the time, in his last, I would say 3-4 fights, I think he's made up for a lot of lost time. He's fought Caleb Plant. He fought Demetrius Andrade. In his first fight, he fought the former lineal champion Alexander Gavazda. He's come back. He's fighting Dave Morrell. I mean, he probably is on one of the best, 3 to 4 fight runs in all the weight class right now.
And I think, if, like you always say, he's gonna come to this realization. He can't just stay there and get a free lunch for Canelo. He's gonna realize he's got to move up and do something for his own legacy, for his own resume, for his own stats, so people don't lose interest in him. And he's doing that. So to start out with Morrell and then go on and on, I think it's great. You know what I mean? I think it's great for him. I think, but if he gets in there with Beterbiev, oh my God, Lord help me, it's gonna be a great fight. I'll leave it like that. But I'm going Benavidez.
That'd be a crazy fight. You know what, Pops? While we're talking about Benavidez and potential big fights, I've never thought about this just now while we were talking. But what do you think about if this guy gets? Let's say Benavidez wins a title light heavyweight, and this guy gets to the level where he can challenge for the title. What do you think about a future fight between David Benavidez and Atif Overton from Philadelphia, Lord Pretty Calvo?
Oh, fuck, man! You fucked me up with that one. Because I'm gonna say like this. I would right now.
Of course, right now you probably fear Benavidez because of the experience, but
yeah, exactly. But
it's to that level. What do you?
But I don't think Clavo is an easy opponent for nobody. I don't think so. I think he's gonna come in there. He's tall, he's strong, they're about the same height, same length, or whatever. But I think the only difference is like what you just said. Clavo doesn't. Wasn't it pretty, but Clavo doesn't have the same experience that Canelo's been through. So that's an advantage to Benavidez. But that being said, you got a strong motherfucker from Philadelphia. He's willing to fight anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he has a good time doing it.
I feel like if he gets the fights and does what I know he's gonna do, he's gonna be on a level. By the time he gets to the world level, I think Benavidez will probably have a title. So that could be a big fight. Like it could be a great fight.
A good fight for a bigger fight for Pretty Boy Clavo than it is for Philadelphia stand up than it is for Benavidez, because we already know the wars Benavidez went through. But for him to show that he's an it factor, I think you've been saying it for a long time, and I've always liked him. And I don't know why they don't get BBC don't get more fights. I like him,
Okay. Let me get a chance to answer some of these comments. I see a lot of people in the comment section. My man Haas Delgado says, "True school sports, you don't even know shit about boxing." And look, I don't know shit about boxing. There's a million boxing channel, but you came here and you brought your tired ass comment here. So I must be that damn good to not know boxing and bring you here with these tired ass comments. So good
God
to see
bless you. Yeah, God bless you.
Whatchamacallit? My man Afro Jam says Atif Overton has been built up very well. He has heavy hands.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite fighters, man. I mean, I can't wait. I'll toot the horn for him before I go over Boots Ennis.
Damn. Edwin Castillo says, what great run. He brought up another career middleweight who was never elite, accomplished and beat 0 champions. Vozick was past his best, and Benavidez was not. Benaducas was not the same fighter being in there with the real heavyweight. So first and foremost, you know what? I'm not even gonna acknowledge this comment because you said Demetrius Andrade was never elite, and that's wrong. He had terrible matchmaking. I'm gonna make this one comment about Andrade. He had terrible business decisions. I will agree with that. His opponent selection was great. I will agree with that. But you're not going to sit here and say he wasn't elite. Dude was a 2-division world champion, USA Olympian, amateur world champion. They don't just hand those things out. You have to be some form of elite to get those things. So
I respect your opinion.
I will say that. Agree with it, I will say that, and I'll move on.
Yeah, I respect whatever you got to say. That's your opinion.
Like, I'm not trying to make this be like 2021 or 2022, but I'll just say this. People like to always downplay Demetrius Andrade, and they like to say, oh, well, what champions did he beat? A lot of guys didn't want to fight him. Canelo didn't want to fight him. He told you himself. And I forgave him for it. I don't hold it against him no more, but that don't change reality. Andrade got his ass waxed and destroyed by Dave Benavidez. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to tell you who told me, but you know I know people in the boxing world. I was talking to someone yesterday. Very, very, very close to Demetrius Andrade. And he's been trying to get fights for about 7 months now. He's been trying to look for a fight for about 7 months. And he can't the top guys they still don't want to fight him. He got his ass whooped and they still don't want to fight him.
Yeah, I think recently he said, look, I'm getting old. I don't have the same food speed I have, but I can manage. I can still manage what I can do. I'm talking about Andre. So but the thing is, when you have a style, I got some mind away. But yeah, my friend, my boy here, what's going on, man? yeah. But that's Jason. But I was saying is, I will say this about Demetrius. You can say whatever you want about him, but people avoid him. When you're an avoided fighter, it's hard to get the fights that people want to see. You know what I mean? I think the only knock that we had on Demetrius Andrews when he didn't fight the British fighter, right?
When he started acting funny with Zach Parker and Johnny Beck, that's kind of where I checked out, and that's where I will agree with the detractors, and I will agree with people that don't like him. But you're not going to tell me he wasn't ever elite. That's being disingenuous. Because if he wasn't elite, Canelo would have fought him. Because Canelo has no problem fighting guys who aren't elite. He fought Belanga, he fought Munguia, so don't give me that. But anyway, I don't want to turn this into a 2022 True School Sports Live. Go back and forth about. I don't really care like that no more. I don't really care like that to even want to go through that. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to hear that from you. But anyway, let's see. What else? There's still a lot to talk about. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe.
Hit that like button, super chat,
all that stuff. See what else we got. What did we not talk about? Oh, I got it, Pops. So Usyk and Fury fought again.
I want to ask you about that. You think Fury really retired?
No, of course not. Of course not. But I wanted to ask you, Pops. There's been a lot of debates going on in boxing right now about a lot of people with bigger voices than mine in boxing. They've been saying, Usyk is not an all-time great. What did what do you think? Is Usyk an all-time great?
Tim Bradley, I love you and all. Tim Bradley Jr. So I'm gonna start with you first. I love you. I support our channel and everything, but you're fucking wrong. If you're gonna tell me Usyk is not all-time great, there's something wrong with you. This guy went to the Olympics. This guy cleaned out the cruiserweight like it was nothing. Cleaned out the fucking cruiserweight. And came up and won a smaller fucking heavyweight to come up here, and he did the same motherfucker to everybody else. So you can't tell me that. You can't tell me he's not great. So it's like me fighting fucking Andre the Giant. If I beat that motherfucker's ass, I'm great. If I beat Tyson Fury, I'm great. If I beat my point is being he's had a tougher road, and people still doubt him. You can't doubt him after he proved it. He's proven it. You see it with your own eyes.
So like he proved it in the ring with his hands.
Yeah, so you can say whatever you want about him. That you're Ukraine fucking style of boxing.
Yeah, I don't understand how people say he's not an all-time great. Like, because I remember Pops doing the videos with you when he fought Chisora and Witherspoon back in 5 years ago.
Yeah.
People were saying back then, oh, he can't beat Fury. I didn't think back then. I didn't think at that time in 2019 he could beat Fury. A lot of
Yeah.
people didn't think he could beat Joshua, and so now he's beating those guys twice, both of them each twice.
Yeah.
And now he's still not an all-time great. So at this point, in my opinion, if you're still saying Usyk isn't an all-time great, you're a hater.
No,
You
you
know, and
can't. I mean, you, people gotta do their reading, do their homework first of all. This guy has always been smaller than all his opponents, even in the heavyweight and light heavyweight. He's always been a small guy, but he's coming. He dominated. He's dominated. His skills out there. His skills. He just. I mean, how can you not give this guy? I don't care what you tell me. This guy took over the cruiserweight and ran with it. Came into heavyweight and said, "I'm gonna test myself to whatever and do the same thing again." How can you hate on that? Like, how can you not give credit to that?
he's
How
fighting
many?
guys. He's fighting guys that outweigh him 50 pounds.
Yeah,
Beating them.
and his skills and his boxing. I mean, you can't take that away from him. You can't take it. People when he first came up, nobody knew who the fuck he was, you know. But when he put that European boxing on their ass, they knew real quick what time it was. You know what I mean? And that's why I give respect to him. Yeah, I think people will question the fight with Dubois when Dubois gave him supposedly they gave him a low blow or something to the right. They gave him a low blow or something. The fuck out of here. The guy, you don't just because one fight shows you something that you just say, oh, he sucks, or he's not the right guy for that. No, this guy came there and he cleaned the fucking the division. He took care of Bellew. Bellew was big at the time, running with everything in the cruiserweight, everything until he ran into my fucking Usyk.
Yeah, and he beat,
Yeah.
he beat Arias Breedis, he beat Murat Gassiev, he cleared the division out. So I want to make a statement. I want to see if you agree or disagree with it, right? Because a lot of people when they talk pound for pound, they talk about Inoue, they talk about Crawford, they talk about Canelo. I'll be honest with you, I like Inoue and Crawford more than Usyk. I enjoy their styles. I think their styles are more aesthetically pleasing than a guy like Usyk. But in my opinion, Usyk is.
But that's because people don't hold on. That's because people don't appreciate his style the way they should. People that don't know boxing, they don't appreciate what he's done.
Usyk is a more accomplished fighter than Canelo. Usyk is a more accomplished fighter than Crawford, and Usyk is a more accomplished fighter than Inoue. He did better. He has a better resume, and he did more in boxing than all three of them. What do you think?
That's the fact. You said it better than I could say. It's true.
Yeah.
He's accomplished a lot. He's done a lot that nobody think he could do. He went out and showed it. Actions speak louder than words. He's done that. Come on, man. You can't say that he's not one of the best. If you say that he's not an all-time great, then you're fucking wrong. If you say that he's not P4 feet, then you're wrong. He cleaned out. He became undisputed. And the way he did it, the way he fucking did it, you know. And that's what I'm saying.
If you don't think Usyk's an all-time great, then there's no point in going undisputed anymore, because it's showing that going undisputed has no value anymore. If going undisputed twice and these weight classes we're giving up this much in size, that's not impressive. And I guess we don't need to go undisputed.
I just think it's wrong. I think because it's from another country or whatever the case may be, I think it's wrong. Give the guy doesn't speak a lot, but when he does, he shows it inside the gym and inside the ring when it's come to fight. And nobody has actually done what he's done, like the way he's done it. And I'm not saying that I'm just dick riding Usyk with Ukraine or that, but no, to me he's got the skills. Give him the credit, bro. Give that guy he deserves it.
So I'm gonna address Edwin Castillo, because he says facts over feelings. My guy, you're in your feelings. It's a discussion. Well, look, the problem I have with people like you, Edwin, when it comes to criticizing fighters, is that normally people like you, you love Canelo Alvarez, right? And fair play. You can be a fan of who you want to be a fan of. But most people in boxing, they don't understand the simple concept that two things can be true. It is in fact possible for Demetrius Andrade to have had a terribly managed career and be completely incompetent in the position of, managing his career. Yes, he ducked some fights. Yes, he ducked Johnny Beck. He ducked Zach Parker. He could have maybe got himself into the position if he beat Zach Parker. He would have. I agree with all that. And if you go back and you check my track record, I had made videos criticizing him, and I'm a fan of his. But it is also possible too that he was an elite fighter, because how was Andrade relevant enough to be in position to fight Canelo at 154 and fight Canelo at 160? If he wasn't elite, he wouldn't have gotten himself into that position and not one but two weight classes. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, he was incompetent. Yes, his resume wasn't the greatest thing to speak of, but he was also an elite fighter, because You look at what he accomplished as far as winning the world title in multiple weight classes, and then what he did in the amateurs, amateur world champion. That's the best in the world in his weight class. He was an amateur world champion, USA Olympian. The guy was good. He could have been better than he was. He had a very disappointing career, but I'm not gonna listen to people that say that he wasn't elite. He got his ass by Benavidez. He really wasn't even supposed to be at 168. He shouldn't even have been.
But the thing was, when he was when he wanted to fight the big fights, even Canelo, he spoke Spanish, but somehow he knew how to speak English. He said, "Get the fuck out of here." What I'm trying to say, he didn't want a taste of that. He didn't want a taste of that because he couldn't handle it. That would have been like Fable against Peter.
And that's why I give Benavidez credit, right? Because Edwin is downplaying the win that Benavidez had over Andrade, but you can't downplay the win Benavidez had over Andrade because Canelo Alvarez didn't want to fight for 10 years, almost 10 years, like 8 to 10 years. They were in position to fight each other. Canelo never wanted to fight, and it took Benavidez beating the shit out of him for Andrade to get a complete knockout. So he gets the credit. You can't say he was a nobody and Benavidez didn't do anything when Benavidez beat one of the guys that Canelo refused to fight. That is a fact.
And that's the thing. I mean, but people say your feelings get involved. No.
I'm not.
There's certain you could be feelings. Really you could be like feelings like bitches and do what you want to do and how you feel. But the facts are he cleaned out the cruiserweight and he went to heavyweight and did what he was supposed to do that nobody.
We're not talking about Usyk. We're also about Andrade.
Okay, Andre's another one. People didn't want to fight him because of his style. His style is an awkward style. People can't.
But the counterpoint is that Andrade had fights with Lara. He had fights with Demetrius. Like there were several notable opponents where he botched, where he could have fought them. And yeah, he probably could have fought those guys. And that goes back to my point of being a terribly mismanaged fighter and making bad decisions. But that's completely separate from his actual ability in the ring. He was a world champion in 2 weight classes. They don't just give those out. Guys, all you got to do is go on BoxRec, pick any weight class you want, and look at how many fighters are in a weight class. You know, there's 1,000-something fighters in every weight class in boxing. So to even be, not just for Andrade, but any fighter who works themselves up to be top 20, top 30, they're good. They're good fighters. You don't just get there on accident.
And I'll say it like this: the proof is in the pudding. You can't just like discredit some other fighters because they didn't do this and others did. I mean, everybody has the opportunity to do what they want to do, but the facts are facts. You can never erase the facts.
Correct. Well, that being said, I never got a chance to ask about this fight, Pops, because Jayo Pataya has been making a lot of news.
What do you think about Lomachenko first? I want to ask you about Lomachenko.
Go ahead.
Lomachenko, he's a great fighter, but I guess he's got the Section 5 forgave them or whatever because is he really injured or he just trying to go to retirement?
Well, a lot of people think that. I don't listen. None of us know if Lomachenko's really injured. He's 36, 37. He's getting a lot of criticism because the Gervonta Davis fanboys are like, the Tank offered Loma to fight and he didn't accept it. Well, you must have selective memory because Lomachenko was wanting that fight for like 5 years, and Gervonta Davis was like, "Oh, well, I don't gotta fight him. He has to fight me now. I can take my time." And they want us. So he's getting a lot of backlash because he ducked Tank, but Tank avoided him for like half a decade, and that's okay. But
listen, man, look,
my thing with Lomachenko was this: I don't think he's probably not going to fight Gervonta Davis. If it can happen, great. It's still a good fight for boxing.
All right.
But I think the more realistic fight, just because you know how boxing works with all these in-house fights, that Lomachenko has to fight the winner of Ram Murataya versus Zaru Abdullayev because they're fighting for the interim title.
Yeah.
So he has to fight the winner of that by October 8th. If he fights the winner of that fight and beats them, I think his next fight, if it's not Tank, should be Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis wins the world title.
Oh man, I love Lomachenko, but I think Keyshawn Davis, in my opinion, because I see him in his prime right now, where I see Lomachenko going down on his age and whatever. I think that'd be a bad fight for him. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Keyshawn. I used to talk shit about. I love Lomachenko, but don't get me wrong. I used to talk shit about Keyshawn, but the way he's matured and the way he's going about his thing, I think right now is his time. I think, to be honest, and I don't have to hate Lomachenko, his time is long gone. I mean, if you get the chance to fight somebody, gets a title, whatever, fine. But I think his time is already passed. But right now, Keyshawn's in his prime, and he's ready to mess up the whole division.
What do you think about Keyshawn? Because a lot of people, they advocate for Shakur Stevenson versus Tank. I think that's a good fight, but the fight I would like to see is Keyshawn versus Tank. I think that's the more exciting fight.
Ooh, that'd be a great fight. If that fight ever happened, I love Keyshawn, but in that fight, Tank got power. I have to. I ride with Tank. I got ride with Tank on that one.
Is he gonna send him to the hospital?
Yeah, I still take Tank. I'm taking Tank because Tank so give us a lot. But what I don't like about in this generation that we live in, all these boxers, all they do is talking fucking social media. That's all they ever do. Sign the contract and make the fight and shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what pisses me off about all of them. You know, you got Teo, you got Haney, you got this, you got that. Fight. See what you're all about. We've been waiting for these fights for almost, 5 years, 6 years, nothing happened. But, no.
And, what's crazy, because as you and many people here know,
yeah,
I'm in Japan, right? I'm in Japan. And in Japan, it's crazy because everything is so organized and they keep these dudes active. Like, these dudes be fighting. And that's why, like, sometimes when I look at American boxing, I'm like, man, we got to really tighten up because it gets annoying. It gets annoying, that our top echelon American fighters are not, more active.
Well, I think a lot of them, I'm not going to say a lot of them, but I feel, in my own opinion, with social media and all this other shit and everything, they become more lazy. They instead of that, like when I was growing up, your actions spoke louder than words. But in this generation, it's the other way around. Your words speak better than your actions because nobody's taking taking the big fight. You got Shakur Stevenson, supposed to be this great guy, good defensive skills, one of the best out there. Oh, that's fucking talk. Stop fucking talking.
You know what's really telling about boxing these days, Pops? I've started to realize this in boxing. I've noticed because recently Top Rank just signed this kid, this real talented amateur named Julius Ballo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this other promotional company, Misfits Boxing, it's like influencer boxing, but they've started to sign like actual real fighters to their company.
Yeah.
They signed this girl named Kayla Gomez, who's like an amateur.
Okay.
And I noticed, I was reading articles the other day. I noticed that in the articles, they would put their accomplishments. They'll put like, they were a 5-time national champion or whatever, right? But then they would include also has 70,000 Instagram followers. Like that's now a thing. So
are you serious?
Yeah, like it's actually starting to be put in the articles of fighters how many social media followers they have. Like it's like a currency now. So I say that to say that, Pops, I do feel like to a degree, while social media has been good for society and boxing in some ways, I think it's actually done more harm than good to fighters.
Bad, because a lot of fighters, like, I remember the time when you walk up somebody and knock them the fuck out. There ain't no talking. You go to school, anywhere you go, knock them the fuck out. Boom, that's it. Shut the fuck up. That's it. Now, a lot of fighters will fight after the fact that the fighter has a fight with somebody else, and then they want to get in social media and flap them out. Come on, man.
And I feel like social media and boxing, it's caused a lot of fighters to be like not authentic. Like they feel like, because a lot of fighters that don't already have a fan base, they feel pressure to be someone they're not and act out of character and put on this image. They're not really that person.
They're not. If I'm gonna say what Dennis Green used to say. You thought what Dennis Green used to say, brother?
We thought they were.
Yeah. So some of these guys, and I've noticed that when fighters got contracts, then the guy that's been waiting to fight the other opponent can't fight him because he's under contract, but he'll start flapping his mouth. Motherfucker, why don't you do that before you got to fight? You know what I mean? That's my whole point. Stop talking and get in the ring. And I'll be honest, I don't think Turkey's gonna resolve that problem with all the promoters the way they still do. Yeah, he buys this fight. I don't think that's ever gonna be resolved. Stop talking. Just get in the fight. That's what I want. That's why I like the guy Barroso, the Venezuelan guy.
It's my Barroso,
yeah. He ain't all that, but you know what he can do when he goes in that ring? He fucking cracks you. You don't hear shit from him, but he crack you. Then
but they don't ask for rematches with him.
No, they still don't. They know.
But
What do
yeah,
you
we're
think
here.
about what do you think about Shang Li, Brandon? He's fighting
He's fighting Ajit Caballero. Good fight. That's a good fight.
You think so?
A really good
You
fight.
think
Yeah.
you think Caballero is gonna
What's
test him?
that fight? Zhang might get stopped.
Are you serious?
I mean, I'm picking Zhang to win by stoppage. I haven't picked Zhang to win a fight in a long time, but I'm picking him to win by this fight.
Right.
And I think he might get this guy. But the problem with Zhang in this fight is going to be that this guy Caballero, like, he can't punch as hard as Zhang.
Yeah.
But he don't get tired. This dude got an engine.
For real?
So if Zhang, I'm telling you right now, if Zhang don't get him out of there in 5-6 rounds, it's it for him.
So you'll say it's not gonna be like Yang's last couple of fights where he's tired but he survives. This ain't gonna happen with this guy.
He ain't gonna survive this one. This one's gonna overwhelm him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll
see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. A lot of good fights coming up, Pops. I know Enrique Luna, shout out to him, and shout out to everybody that's still watching us. Make sure you smash the like button and keep dropping your questions. We still got probably Pops. Do we got half an hour more?
Yeah, you got all the time in the world.
I want to get it even 2 hours at least. So
okay.
We got my man Enrique Luna says, Brendan, your boy Isaac Chamberlain is fighting Vidal Riley in London on February 1st. Yes, very big fight, very important fight for Isaac Chamberlain. Vidal, listen, do you know anything about Vidal Riley, Pops?
Yeah, that's that motherfucker that was talking shit on the Eddie Hearn show. Like he deserves a championship or something. Get the fuck out of here.
He's got a lot. Vidal has a lot of fans because he was KSI's trainer. You know, the influencer.
Oh yeah, you told me that. You told me that. But you know what? KSI's trainer is not going to help him when fucking Chamberlain cracks him.
I'm really hoping that's what happens because this is really a do or die fight for Isaac. If Isaac don't win this fight, like, because you could already say right now he is the gatekeeper for the cruiserweight at British level because he's been in a lot of big fights at cruiserweight, but he hasn't really been able to get over the hump against Lawrence Coley or Chris Smith. And then he lost his last fight to Jack Massey, which I think he probably should have won that fight, but he lost. And he can't lose this one because he's got the experience over this guy. And if he loses this fight to Vidal Riley, I think that would serve as a British gatekeeper for sure. So I'm hoping he wins. I think he has the tools. It's a good fight.
So he lost his belt or whatever he won.
So if you remember, Isaac fought his last fight. He fought for the European title against Jack Massey, and Jack lost. He lost the fight to him.
Wow.
So,
holy shit. Let's go, Chamberlain. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, and Afro Jam says Riley is also a rapper. He had a few tunes that are popular in the UK. Yeah, he's popular for things that have fuck all to do with what he's actually doing in the ring.
He almost sounds like about the millions.
He's like closer to like Jake Paul.
Okay.
He's better than Jake Paul though, because he actually had an amateur career to speak of, and he did things. Afro Jam says Riley is way more skilled than Chamberlain. After Shakur, he is the next primarily. Get the fuck out of here. I'm okay if you think Vidal Riley wins. They're about even. They're about even in skill level to me. I think Vidal Riley and Isaac have very similar flaws. Vidal had a bigger amateur career. Isaac's had more experience in the pros. They're around. They're close to the same level in my eyes. I don't want to say he's way more skilled, because if you're saying he's way more skilled than Isaac Chamberlain, then what you're saying is you think he's good enough right now to beat Chris Smith. You think he's good enough right now to beat the guys that have Lawrence Coley. He can't beat those guys. I'll tell you right now, he can't beat those guys.
He ain't ready for that smoke.
It's a good fight. It's a good domestic British fight. Obviously, Isaac's a personal friend of mine. I love Isaac. I want him to win.
Yeah.
But I'm not that. I am biased, but I'm not that biased. I do know it's a fight he can lose, and there's some things technically that he needs to have corrected. Because if he hasn't corrected them, it's going to be a very, very hard fight for him when he could lose.
Yeah, I mean, I never liked it because he talked too much. That's why I didn't like it. But when he told me he was a rider,
I like Mikhail Lawal because Mikhail Lawal is a cloud chaser. He's a cloud chaser, and he hasn't really done anything. But you know what? Good for him. He gets to finally fight someone to do something. So if he shows that he can do something in this fight, then I have no problem getting him his credit. This is his first actual real fight in the pros.
What is that, like 10 fights? He's got what, 12 fights, 13 fights? What do you got?
I don't know. Somebody in the comments can probably tell me.
What about my boy? I used to like it. He lost his last fight or the other fight. Whittaker.
He was they're supposed to rematch the guy Liam Cameron. They're supposed to do a rematch, but apparently that's taking a while now. He don't want to get back in there right away, so it's like, I don't know. But the fight I've been wanting, the two fights, the fight I wanted to ask you about, Pops, I was getting into it earlier, but was Jairo Bataya. He's been beating up a lot of these guys at cruiserweight. He's the best cruiserweight in the world right now. It looks like his next fight might just be against Gilberto Soto Ramirez, unification fight.
Wow.
What do you think about that fight?
I think Bataya is a lot younger. Number one, I think he has more the better movement, in my opinion, than Zotto. But Zotto can crack. He just come forward at that Mexican style, and he'll make sure he crack the fuck out of you. So, man, that's a tough fight to pick. They're about the same age, ain't they?
I'm not sure what the age difference is. I just know that Opataya's weakness, if he has weakness, is that at times he's shown that he does fade in the back half of fights, and we know that Zotto gets better in the back half of fights.
Yeah, but he just fucked up this guy real quick. He beat the shit out of him. Like it was nothing. Yeah. I would say I would favor Soto because Soto's been around. Yeah, he's had some problems. He's correct everything. I think he's that Mexican or that fighter that wants to finally get acclaim for what he's done. You know what I mean? He's just so humble, real quiet. People don't know about him. At some point, somebody got to give him credit for what he's done.
Yeah. Jairo said it won't be Jai's next fight. If next fight, because if you follow the boxing, you would know that the WBA ordered Junior Dorticos again. Thank you, Jairo. I do follow boxing, Jairo, and I'm very aware that today, the mandatory Dorticos is the mandatory to Zotto, and he's been the.
But isn't he old? Dorticos old, man. Come on, man.
He is old, but in fairness, he's been sitting there for a long time, so I keep that same energy of mandatories. Even if I don't like them, if they're old, he is a mandatory, so he may have to fight him. And I haven't watched Dorticos fight in a while, so I don't know what the hell he looks like these days. I'm not gonna fake the funk and act like I do, but I know he was in his prime. He was known for being a big puncher, and so
I don't think
Zotto have to be careful.
Him, Laura, another one. Laura, I think Laura's another one to sit back and just fight here and there. They're done. They're just making money. That's all they do, and I don't hate them for that.
Afro Jam says that Isaac Chamberlain doesn't have the will. You're wrong. You're wrong about that. Isaac Chamberlain's skills might not be up to par to be a world champion. I've come to grips with that. But if there's one thing Isaac does have, it's a will. The dude got his freaking over the bone broken by Chris Miller in the second round, and then still persevered through 10 rounds and had him hurt in the 12th. So don't tell me he doesn't have the will. We're going to see what Vidal Riley has. We're going to see how much balls he has. He hasn't been tested yet. And Jairo keeps bringing up the fact that Vidal Riley had this great performance against Mikhail Lawal, who Isaac Chamberlain beat for the British title. That's cool. He fought him after Isaac beat. He was already beat. Beat. So the good thing is they're going to fight each other February 1st, and we're going to see who's who. And I'm going to tell you all you like this guy. I'm tired of you dick riding ass Vidal Riley fans. If you thought that me going off on Canelo was bad, I'm telling you right now, I'm warning you in advance. If Isaac Chamberlain beats Vidal Riley, it's gonna be 100 times worse than when I was going off on Canelo about losing to Bivol. I might change the channel name to Lawal Exposed by Chamberlain. Straight up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this shit, man. He's getting hyped for no reason.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I honestly don't have anything personal against Vidal Riley. It's just more so his fan base, how they try to put him up there, and he hasn't even done anything yet.
Yeah, he hasn't earned anything. They give him all the clout.
I think like feelings aside, I think it's a very competitive fight. I think Riley has certain things he could exploit from Isaac to beat him. It's a good domestic British level scrap. That's what it is. It's a good fight at the British level. Isaac is British level, fringe European level. That's what his level is in boxing. That's what he's proven to be so far. Jairo has been going on for 2 years about Vidal Riley, and I'm gonna tell you, Jairo, you better just if Isaac beats the shit out of Vidal Riley, you better delete me from everything, because I'm not letting you do nothing for years.
But he's just trying to contradict you. That's all.
No, It's not that Isaac didn't want the smoke. Vidal wasn't relevant enough. Isaac had bigger fish to fry. He wanted to go win the European title and try to become a world champion because he's already fought. This is my last comment about this because I'm gonna get really pissed off. He's already fought the whole fucking UK. He fought Chris Smith. He fought all these guys. He fought the whole UK. And this guy who's done nothing, zero to speak of in boxing. Yeah. You just wanted him to jump straight up to. I know. Fuck him. If he's good enough, he will win the fight on first, and I'll give him respect.
I want to say when you first seen him, brother, you told me the same thing. So this guy only fought like 5 fights, and he thinks he's entitled to a world.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, all because he did. Look, he's getting all this clout pop because he did all this. He did all this for KSI. He held the pads. Come on, man. Fuck all that. Anyway, I'm getting out of character.
Yeah. Pops. On to the next.
We talked a lot about Usyk earlier. I didn't get your take on this fight because this to me is one of the best fights in boxing.
Okay.
Got Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois.
Holy shit, man.
Who do you think wins
to begin with, I think Parker has fought. I think he's fought everybody. He hasn't ducked nobody, has he? I think he's fought everybody.
The only guy you could say Parker maybe ducked, and even in I would say it's probably reaching a little bit, is maybe Filip Hrgović because he was one of the guys that was offered the fight for the Eliminator, and he did turn it down.
Yeah.
So maybe him, but no, Parker's fought most of the top guys when it's been offered to him.
I think Dubois is time now. He come out. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't have no conversation, but I think it's correct. I like who other opponents that Parker has fought. But damn, I like them Dunkin' Donuts. DDD. I'm riding with DDD.
You going with Dubois?
Yeah, I think Dubois doesn't talk much. I think, and I'll only say that because Parker's been through a lot of battles. They haven't been easy battles, and he's beaten everybody and respect him, and he's one of the top of the top. But I just think Dubois is going to come out making the same thing he did whatever the last fight. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to make a big statement. Okay. And that's what I'm riding. I'm riding with Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. No, I just think because, everybody has their time. And I'm not saying that Parker, because Parker can have a great legacy resume. He's fought a lot of people. He's not afraid to fight anybody. But I think just because he doesn't have a good conversation point in the press conference, in that ring, you better watch out for him.
For sure.
But I never really seen Parker get knocked the fuck down either.
No, he hasn't. I think it's tough, man. I don't want to pick against Daniel Dubois because I did it last year, Hrgović, I'm still very, very upset about picking against him and him proving me wrong. That pissed me off. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna lean towards Joseph Parker.
Well, Joseph Parker, let's put it this way: the tougher road has been for Joseph Parker. Let's be real. But that doesn't mean that Dubois he ain't soft. I think him getting that belt and him getting that gave him a lot of confidence. Even though he didn't fight no disrespect, I should say nobody when he fought the guy Stacey McKinley's heavyweight. God bless him. But I mean, he knocked him out and he came back. I think Dubois is at that stage now where he wants his alignment on him. So he's gonna come out, make that tough fight for Parker. But Parker was saying like, yo, that's what you think. You don't know who you haven't faced me yet.
The intriguing part about this fight, so the intriguing part about this fight to me is like Joseph Parker, apart from Joe Joyce, which is it's crazy that Joe Joyce already beat both these guys, and now Joe Joyce is washed up. Isn't that crazy?
Shit. That's crazy.
Joe Joyce beat both these guys years ago already, and now he's not really like in the best form right now. So it's crazy how boxing goes. But apart from the Joe Joyce fight, Joseph Parker has really shown a great chin in his career. Like, if Dubois can't knock out Joseph Parker, can he beat him? Like, that's my question. If Parker stands up to any power that's delivered from Dubois, is there another path to victory for Dubois? I don't think there is. I think Dubois' only path to victory to beat Parker is to knock him out.
Let me ask you this question: Who has a bigger power punch in your opinion? Maybe I didn't say Dubois. But Wilder or Dubois?
Oh, between Wilder and Dubois?
Yeah.
Wilder.
I'm only asking you that because Parker fought Wilder. I don't know if he fought Dubois.
Wilder wasn't, to be fair though, it wasn't the Wilder that was knocking out like Arthur Spilka back in the day. It wasn't that Wilder. It wasn't the Wilder that knocked out Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
That this Wilder that Parker fought was being trained to fight in a more conventional style from Malik Scott.
Yeah.
So when you take away Wilder's unpredictability, and he's not as athletic and he's not as strong as he used to be in his legs, you're not really fighting the exact same guy that fought back in the day. So I'll be fair in that regard. But he's still a big puncher, and he still was able to drop Parker on a couple of occasions. But I don't think Dubois punches like Wilder regardless.
Wow. Oh, you think Wilder got a more power punch?
He's a big. It's not by at this stage. It's not by a lot, but he's still.
But I don't think he has the legs that Dubois has. Dubois is young, strong. I think Wilder from the last Parker fight, he didn't impress me at all. I thought he was gonna come in.
I'm gonna say it like this. I think Joseph Parker's in his absolute prime. There's some fighters, like especially at heavyweight, that they mature later on in their careers.
Yeah,
he is one of them. He's doing his best boxing right now.
Yeah. For sure.
Back in the day when he was champion, and even when he was like fighting Dillian White and stuff like that, his big problem was that he would let guys outwork him. Like Dillian White, when he fought Anthony Joshua, he showed that even though he got screwed by the referee, he showed the Anthony Joshua fight that at that time he was kind of one-dimensional and couldn't make adjustments. He's not that guy anymore, and he's learned the experience that Andy Lee has made him better.
You think Josh, you just go to the limelight and no fight Wilder, or just move on and go on, or you think he has to fight that mega fight?
I don't know. Anthony Joshua's got plenty of options. He can fight Fury, he can fight Wilder, and I guess now he's going to fight Bakoli in Africa. I'll tell you this right now. If they follow through with this whole Bakoli Joshua thing, that's going to be it for him. That's it.
What do you think? Bakoli going to crack him?
Bakoli going to punch like 10 holes through him. I'm so sure of it.
Would you say that Bakoli is the hardest heavyweight or high-handed heavyweight?
Look. When it comes to like fighting these guys at heavyweight, obviously all these guys can punch. But if there's one fighter in the heavyweight division that you don't want to fight and have questionable punch resistance against, it's Bakoli. And AJ, I love AJ. You know, Hyro knows this, and I'm a big. I love what AJ is giving to the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
But Martin Bakoli is going to beat him into fucking retirement if they fight. For Anthony Joshua's sake, he better not do that fight. He better just fight. Listen, the more winnable fight at this point for AJ is Wilder. They're both passionate.
Yeah.
They're both vulnerable. It's the best time for that fight to happen now. Go out with one last rivalry fight.
Yeah. I think Bakoli is a hard puncher, so I mean
but it's not.
No disrespect to
a puncher. He fights hard. He fights hard every single minute of every single round, and he can punch. That's making dangerous.
Yeah. I'm gonna crack you. Come to see me. I'm gonna get you. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that energy what I do with everybody else. We can't talk about Joshua or Bakoli yet because Bakoli got to fight Efe Ajagba. Got to get through him. I think he should be.
But he should be able to. He's bigger, stronger, and heavier.
I don't know if he's bigger.
No,
he's pretty big. I don't know if he's like he might be wider, but I don't know if he's bigger. Efe's a big guy.
And Efe Ajagba, he's gotten a lot better too. I don't think he's. I mean,
he's gotten better. I still think Bakoli should beat him. But one thing about when we talk about the best one punch knockout artist heavyweight, Efe Ajagba's like in the top 5. He's got some power. So Bakoli better not have no defensive lapses because if he's over here thinking about Joshua and Zhang and all these big fights, he's gonna be seeing stars. The Nigerian will. So he has to focus on the fighter in front of him. But
do you ever think that Shang Li's will fight Hrgovic? No, that's done with.
Oh, that's done with. They're not fighting each other. Hrgovic, Zhang's team, they don't want that fight again. They showed it because Hrgovic called for that rematch plenty of times. They called everybody but Hrgovic, you know, and you would think he'd want to make that loss, but he don't want that because he knows that was like a bad version of Hrgovic on his worst night, and he still couldn't beat him. So, you know, so I think speaking of Hrgovic, I mean, what do you when he comes back, Pops? What do you think we want to see from him?
I think even though he lost, give him time to regroup, give him some time with his family, and sometimes as fighters, that need that time away for a little bit to regroup and decide what to do. But I think he got time to make it. He's still young enough and he's still strong enough to make a statement. The thing is what we were saying before. Can he have that defense?
Yeah, defense and I guess like his training. I think it's his training habits because the guy I see in the gym is not the guy I see in the fights.
Yeah, but okay. Let's say, for example, you're Ronnie Shields and you see your boxer overworking too much. Don't you think it's his right to tell him like, hey, fuck working too much, slow down?
Yeah, I don't know what the whole deal is with that. I would like to see him fight. I think the two fights for heavyweights I like to see to come back would be either Guido Vianello.
Mahmoudov?
Yeah, that's cool too.
Not a fight.
Fabio Wardley.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's a hard fight.
Well, I think he just needs to come back now. Boxing's where it's at right now, and go ahead there. And what happened to the Olympic boxer, the heavyweight that we like that you interviewed from the Olympics, the black dude?
What black dude?
I don't know. I don't remember his name. I just know his name from when he's real good. You talk to his mom. You interviewed his mom and him. One of the favorites. No, you talked about his mom and everything, and he was in the Olympics. I forgot the guy's name. You say he could be the next American heavyweight. You liked him. Don't ask me the name. American, yeah, the black. He's a very talented guy. Like when you went to interview with Sean Porter and them.
Oh, he's not a heavyweight. You're talking about Jamal Harvey.
He's not.
No, he's like a 135 pounder. He's like yeah.
No, Brandon. No, he's bigger than that. The guy that he did construction.
He's built like Tank.
Okay. Yeah. Holy shit. Okay.
Jamal got screwed in the Olympics. They robbed him in a fight against I think a Usyk or some fighter. He got screwed badly. He hasn't made any announcements on who he signed with or what his professional debut was or anything like that. So we're just that with him.
Just waiting to see what's gonna happen with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's not a heavyweight. He's stocky. He's built like Tank.
But I know his mom. I got to get his name right.
Jamal Harvey.
You sure it's him? That was something talking about? Probably.
Maryland. Black guy, Olympian.
Yeah, he was like his mom.
Just so you know, there was no black heavyweights on the Olympic team this year.
Holy shit! And I'm in the wrong weight class. Yeah,
there was only a handful of black guys on the Olympic team. You had Amari Jones, you had Jamal Harvey.
And sorry guys if I say black, I just can't remember. My son tells me all the time, "What the fuck you talking about black? You know how many black
that's
people
like
I know?"
That's like when Pop says, "Oh yeah, that one guy that plays shooting guard for the Hornets or for the
yeah."
Like who? He's like, oh, the black one. My dad's basketball. Like 90% of them. That only cuts down like 10% in the NBA.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true. But we'll have to see what happens with the heavyweight and with the other divisions. I look forward to
Hyro says Parker lost to Dillian White. BT, you ain't making sense. I told you about Philip a long time ago. You did tell me about Philip Hergovich, but the thing is, Hyro, his career is not done. His career is not done, and you're gonna eat your words one day. In fact, you already ate your words. You and Shakur, our friend Shakur, you already ate your words when y'all picking Jang and you lost.
Yeah. Basically, Brendan's saying this. The story's not done yet.
Story's not done, and you're saying Parker lost to Dillian White. Well, guess what? He lost to Dillian White, and then he came back, and then he beat Zhang, and then he beat Wilder, and he's one of the top heavyweights in the world with one of the best resumes. So he lost to. He did lose to Dillian White. That was years ago. See, this is the problem I have with boxing fans, and this is why fighters don't want to fight nobody. This is why Boots. I guarantee you, Boots probably looks at how people talk about Stephen Fulton, and these fighters hear how fans and media talk about fighters that lose, and they don't want to take certain fights because if they lose, they know that they're gonna get the same treatment. Parker fucking lost to Dillian White 7 years ago, and Hyro was bringing it up right now like it means something. Angelo Leo lost Stephen Fulton almost 5 years ago. Fighters lose fights all the time. Fighters can progress and they can regress. Joseph Parker has progressed. He's gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Like you always say, timing is everything. That's true.
And correction, Pops. Correction. Afro Jim is right. The American super heavyweight that was on the Olympics this year was Joshua Edwards. He lost in the opening round. That's right. You're right about Joshua.
Oh man, damn. Yeah. So that I know you talk good about him and everything. That's why I said that. Like I thought you're going to do something, but it is what it is. I just want at some point American boxers to come back to where they belong. Top.
Me too. Pops, I got two more fights to ask you about, or I'll say
Sure.
3 fights, and then we'll wrap it up, right?
Okay.
So the first fight I'll ask you about is what do you think about Nick Ball versus TJ Doheny?
I don't remember Haney, but I remember Nick Ball. Isn't Nick
Doheny's
Ball?
He's that Irish guy that just fought Inoue that got punched in his ribs and then went like that.
Oh, okay, no. He weak. No, Nick Ball Nick Ball will beat him for sure. I like Nick. And Nick's like my side is stocky, so I'm gonna ride with Nick for sure. But yeah, if he's already holding his back when he got hit, I don't want to hit shit about him. But isn't Nick Ball going to fight the winner of? I forgot you had that video out. Nick Ball, somebody else are gonna fight.
So the winner of the fight on the PBC card, on the Morale card, Mirko Cuello and Christian Olivo.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm just saying about Nick Ball. I think
Nick Ball will have to fight the winner of Mirko Cuello versus Christian Olivo.
Holy shit, we'll find out. You don't like Cuello? I like Cuello.
I love Cuello. Cuello, I think, is one of the biggest threats to everyone. Everyone.
You don't like Matoya, what's his name? Meuttal. Matoya.
Murataya?
Yeah, you don't like him. I like him. I think he's gonna do something.
He's okay. Like he needs.
I mean, he pressed me a couple years ago. I haven't seen him lately how he's fought, but
Murataya. That's a different weight class. That's lightweight. You're thinking about 135.
No, yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Murataya, he needs more work, man. He can't deal with counter punches and movers. He needs guys that come to him in exchange. He's not gonna be good against a guy like Keyshawn Davis. Will chew him up and take his lunch.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not even a contest.
Dang. I think I seen him before. I thought he was a tough fighter. Like I thought.
Strong. He's very, very strong. Like you can't just exchange with him. Otherwise, you're gonna go out. You get caught the wrong way. But
if you stand, that's if you stand there and fight with him.
I'm not as high on him as other people. If that's what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Good fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a good fighter, but
yeah.
So you don't really care about Nick Ball versus TJ Haney. What do you think about Virgil Ortiz against Israel Madrimov?
Oh man, Madrimov got experience, but I have to go with Ortiz, man. Ortiz got a beautiful left, has a right jab, a beautiful jab when he throws it out there. He's got power, and he's gonna come out here to impress because people don't know who is Ortiz. You know what I mean? They don't know. Haven't seen him fight since he got hurt or whatever and moved up, whatever. So they want to see what it's all about. So yeah, Madrimov is good. Didn't Madrimov fight Crawford?
Yes, he fought Crawford, Pops. Yep.
Didn't he rock Crawford? Crawford almost looked.
Some people thought he beat Crawford, and Crawford barely won that fight.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's one thing about Crawford. Not to change the subject, but Crawford sometimes he gets rocked. He gets lucky. He gets out of it before.
No, it's not lucky. He's very aggressive, so he gets beat. He sees red. He abandons his defense sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. So what's the other fight?
So you're picking Virgil or Madrimov?
Yeah, I think Virgil's gonna make a statement. Yeah,
because a lot of people think that Madrimov's the best in the division because he gave Crawford a good fight, and no.
I'll say what you always tell me. You can't always go by the fighter's last fight. You just can't. Every fighter gets up for whatever fight when it happens. You have to watch the fight to find out. And you're absolutely right. You can't say, oh yeah, because we thought he fight Crawford, he's gonna do this. You don't know. I'm going Virgil. Virgil's got more proof than anybody else. People I got a question mark.
Yeah, because I thought Virgil lost his last fight to Boachuk. I thought he got a gift in that fight.
Oh man, Boachuk. And I agree with you on that one. I thought Boachuk won that fight. They should have had a rematch. You know what I mean?
What was crazy? They should have had a rematch. What was crazy is Madrimov was out here signing contracts left and right. Madrimov signed a contract to fight Boachuk in December, and he had one to fight Virgil in February at the same time. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna fight both these guys. And then he pulled out of the Boachuk fight. He ducked Boachuk. He didn't want to super Boachuk.
That's a joke. He laughs at you and everything. When he gets you in there, he'll beat you down.
Hyro says Madrimov sucks. He lunges too much, and he's been inactive. People forget about his fights with Michael Soro. Yes, he fought this guy Michael Soro, who's okay, and he didn't look so good against Michael Soro. And nobody remembers when Madrimov was fighting on an Oklahoma street corner against Eric Walker.
Holy shit!
But now he's the best in the division because he let a smaller man come up there, almost beat. He didn't beat him. Like he could have beat. He let Crawford out hustled him in the last 3 rounds, and he gave the fight away. He gave the fight away. He could have beat Crawford.
Wow.
But yeah, that okay.
Yeah, but
So you got
Mudav is washed up. Don't even talk about him at Mudav no more. That ambulance shit and all that shit don't mean nothing no more.
I got
The same with the
you're getting
heavyweight
mixed
Fisher.
up. You're getting them mixed up. You're getting Majimov and Makhmudov mixed up, pops. But
No, Majimov was about Crawford. I know Majimov. But I'm talking about Harold. Stop talking about the other guy because he ain't no good.
No, Harold's talking about Majimov, pops. He's not talking about
Okay. My bad. Yeah.
Well, you know, I pretty much asked you the majority. I mean, I wasn't gonna ask you about Angelo Leo versus Kameda, but I know you haven't really watched the movie Kameda like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I know you can't really give too much insight on that one.
Yeah.
I
like that video on the women's boxing you gave too on
which boxer?
I forgot her name.
The Japanese girl or the American girl?
Oh, I like the Japanese. I really like a lot, but the American girl that's coached by the ex boxer used to be Garcia used to be trained by the.
You're talking about Right Hook Roxy?
Yeah.
She's fighting tomorrow for you. She's fighting tomorrow.
On TV?
On UFC Fight Pass. She's on the undercard of Omar Trinidad, Mike Planier. She's on the undercard. In fact, both the Japanese girl and her are both on that same undercard, fighting different opponents. Yeah.
But the Japanese girl, I like her. I like the way we talk to her. She looks huh? She got good energy. Yeah, she got good energy. She got good energy. I like that.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool.
Yeah,
but Boss, before I get up, let you go. Is there any final message you want to give to the boxing world? Because they've been missing you. They've been saying, "Oh, we miss Pops."
Hey, me and BT sooner or later we're gonna be together again, and we're gonna rule the motherfucking boxing team. Me and him, we're the best team right here. True School Sports. Keep supporting us. Whatever you can do, as you see, Brendan. I mean, all that Japanese content wouldn't happen if you guys didn't support him, super chat to him and everything. So the more you super chat, you don't know what country BT might be next. He might go to Australia. Who knows? You know, and
I go to Australia. Might go to. I might go to Africa one day. I might go to Africa.
Yeah, and I want to go to Puerto Rico, meet Trinidad and all that. My brother knows me and everything. But keep supporting the channel. Happy New Year to all you guys. Positivity. That's all I gotta say. Think positivity. Blessings to you and your family. And like I always say, this is the motherfucker of all motherfuckers right here.
There you go. All right, guys.
Yeah.
On that note, guys.
Thank
see
you
you
guys.
next time. And yeah, God bless.
God bless. Take care.